The Prolegomena is the thing that should be recorded first. But in this case, the first session was the first thing that was distributed to the public. You might picture me sitting in a setting where I'm looking out the window over an urban city, smoking a cigarette with scotch to my left or right, only I don't smoke cigarettes and I don't really drink alcohol. The atmosphere of these sessions is exceedingly laid back. It's informal. It's meant to be informal. Now, Adorno, in his published lecture series, Negative Dialectics, which we don't have the other lectures for, we're missing the tapes, the recordings of the full course, which I would argue is probably one of the greatest losses in modern philosophical history. I think it probably is the greatest loss in modern philosophical history. So we only have a few of these lectures, so we don't get to go through all of Negative Dialectics in this more popular explanatory form that Adorno engages in. But Adorno says that I believe that what characterizes philosophical thinking is an element of the tentative, experimental, and inconclusive, and this is what distinguishes it from the positive sciences. What I shall present to you here are reflections which will retain this experimental quality until, insofar as my own energies will allow it, they have acquired their appropriate linguistic form, their definitive shape. And I can only encourage you to think your own way through what I have to say to you and to assemble your own ideas on the subject rather than for me to transmit definite knowledge for you to take home with you. I love this because Adorno is describing the ontology of philosophy as a kind of critical creativity, as a position that is not final, as a position that it's the opposite of an absolutist or authoritarian approach to the world. It's an approach that is open and free-flowing and ever trying to learn by taking in as much as it possibly can. I believe that what characterizes philosophical thinking is an element of the tentative, experimental, and inconclusive. And this is kind of how these sessions proceed, is that they are experimental, they are tentative, they will be inconclusive. They will try to make commentary on different aspects of Adorno's thought and try to expound thoughts that he puts forth. What I shall present to you here are reflections which will retain this experimental quality. I intend to do the same in these Adorno sessions. This experimental quality that Adorno was fond of will be utilized in these sessions until, insofar as my own energies will allow it, they have acquired their appropriate linguistic form, their definitive shape. And so that is the process, an open, free-flowing process of fumbling through to be able to find and land on premises and propositions that have value. And I can only encourage you to think your own way through what I have to say to you and to assemble your own ideas on the subject rather than for me to transmit definitive knowledge for you to take home with you. And that's the same thing that I would say in listening to these sessions, that hopefully, if they have obtained to a level of quality, they will make it so that the listener is able to, in some cases, learn something, but more importantly than that, that they are able to have a spark of their own experimentality, their own creativity nourished by the approach that I take to this, by the openness, by my own creativity in the critical process, that it will likewise inspire a critical, creative process in the listener.